Round number 7 of the Dodge Viper Cup couldn't be held at a more picturesque setting. The Ochre Mountains behind me overlook one of the most magnificent motorsport facilities in the world, Miller Motorsports Park. Well, the championship has heated up to the point where it's at a rolling boil. We've got new guest drivers, and what a place to run. This is Dodge Viper Cup.
Miller Motorsports Park, for the racing fan, a glorious oasis in the Great Salt Desert. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Kramer. You've already met Tom Natchew. We are here for round number 7 of the Dodge Viper Cup. Qualifying complete. Let's get you to the starting lineup. Ryan Shims, his 4th pole of the season. Ralph Gilles alongside. Row number 2, Ben Keating, the only other guy with 2 wins, and Charlie Putman. Then we go to row number 3, Jim Stout and Michael Von Quillick. Slipping back to row number 4, we have Ted Hughes and Rob Paccioni, guest driver here for the weekend. Row number 5 is going to have us Connie Bogan and Eric Galern. In row number 6, it is going to be Kurt Solberger and Dave Mazik, and all by himself in the 7th row because of an issue related to qualifying, as Keith Verge is one of the fastest guys in the circuit.
Well, he didn't show up for the drivers' meeting, and that's what you get. You don't show up, you go to the back of the pack. Other guy to watch is Charlie Putman, a guest driver driving Jeff Courtney's hardware. He's a pro. He's been in the World Challenge Sports Car Wars for 3 or 4 years. He's a guy to watch.
And we're green, and Keating giving us something to watch for sure. Look at that launch from the 3rd spot on the outside shoulder of Shims into turn 1, side by side through this very tricky double apex left-hander that folds it back to Lairn, a huge wiggle, and a great save, and Verges attacking already.
That number 90 car is going to work its way up. You can almost count on it, but Verges is a large enough veteran to know that you're not going to get it all done in the first lap. He's going to take his time and work his way through this field, just like that.
Take what you can and know you've got race time to get it done. As he slots by, picks up that spot on Ted Hughes, tucks right in behind. That's Rob Paccioni, started in the 8th spot, and that number 53 white Michelin Viper in front of him is Galern, and those would be the next 2 guys that Verges would be attacking.
Paccioni's a Mustang specialist, been doing it for 15 years at Motorsports and other tracks in Canada. This is his first time racing an acr-x. So far, according to what he says in the paddock, having a great time.
Oh, and look at this, 3 abreast, Tom, up into the attitudes, and Verges sneaks through on Paccioni and almost allows, with that kind of freezing Paccioni on the outside, but now Verges runs a little wide. Paccioni, Hughes going right back by him again.
Yeah, so he did a great job at the top of the attitudes, but they call it first attitude, second attitude, and bad attitude, and Keith just figured out why.
Exactly. You can have one of those coming out of it when you get it wrong, but look at this, not wasting any time in attack mode. Got a great run out of the Tooele turn, gets him up alongside Ted Hughes, now sweeping into the first of the S's called windup, and he is through. And again, a big wiggle there from Hughes. He may have just a little target fixation.
You know, you look at the guy ahead of you and say, well, he's going that fast, why can't I go that fast? And in Ted Hughes' case, he just missed it by that much.
Onto this long front straight, cut in half by running just the east course, but still 1,500 feet long. And there is a look at Verges, just doing a superb job, working his way through the pack. Aggression when he needs it, but he also is exercising some good patience. He did have that little runoff at the end of the attitudes, but that was just for pushing hard, and now he's got to try and reel in Paccioni all over again.
You know, the drivers have distinguished themselves throughout this championship, but the cars have too. Now that the guys are getting these dialed in, they can run in close quarters like this, and it really is a joy to watch a single-make program that makes over 650 horsepower.
It is unique, it is really special, and it is incredibly good racing. Once again, Verges now up alongside Paccioni. Need a little help here. Verges got the inside done, but watch for it. No, he realized Paccioni was turning in. That's a smart driver coming up through the pack, realizing when it's just not quite right.
And I imagine Rob Paccioni's head is like Linda Blair's in The Exorcist. He's looking at all 4 corners, not wanting to be a factor in this race, but how could you not enjoy yourself doing what Rob Paccioni from Canada is doing right now?
And look at the run. This time Verges gets out of that bad attitude, up into the Tooele turn. One of my absolute favorite corners here, Tom. It's deceptive how much speed you can carry into it, and that means you've got to get it right. Look at, speaking of getting it right, Ted Hughes going to try and get down the inside of that white Viper of Paccioni, and Ted, and and the blue one lefts and lets Paccioni have the line. Again, showing some judgment there as we have Verges. Boy, it didn't take him long to run down Galern.
Galern, a veteran of this championship as well, but he knows he's a match for Verges on any given day. He's not going to make it easy for him to get by.
Matter of fact, that little bit of a scrum allowed Paccioni to almost get a run coming out of release onto the straight. Now Verges moves to the inside, got the run on Galern. Can he make it work? He does. Galern saw him coming, left the door open a little bit. Verges floats wide. Galern thinks about the repass, can't quite get it done. Incredible battling going on back in the pack. Up front, Shims is getting away. The Dodge Viper Cup is the highlight of a Dodge Viper Owners Club Invitational weekend. This is the 11th one. In Miller Motorsports Park, rolling out the red carpet. The nice thing is a guy can drive a Street Viper, take that turn in there, follow that red carpet right onto the track eventually with what these guys are doing, and this is some great battling.
You know, we just for those of you who are wondering, Ryan Shim's still at the front, Ben Keating's up there, but we are compelled to stay with this battle, Greg.
It's such great action back in the pack to be sure, but it is fierce. And you're seeing Ted Hughes now, after struggling a little bit early, giving up a couple of passes, is now starting to, it looks like, Tom, feel a little bit more aggression. He's gone around Paccioni, and it looks like he might be thinking about taking a bit of a run at Galern here. Boy, did he get out of that last turn strong.
He really, really does. He's starting to figure it out, and his tires have come to him now, so he's got some confidence in those as well. Look at under braking, how deep he goes on Galern.
And he certainly has that first corner figured out, how you go wide in and just arc way past the apex point, then come back to get the drive out faster right here, and coming up that left-hander called Gotcha, and it can.
It can. It often does. It apexed there just a little bit too late. You see all that desert out to your right. Now we come to another very interesting section. Some say his signature here at Miller Motorsports Park.
It is a fascinating section of track. Then you drop back down here. This is through Satisfaction. You get it right, that's what you feel. Now the hard blast down into the double left called Agony and Ecstasy, and he's looking down the inside. Galern gives him the room. Oh, but he a little bit too hot, Tom. Big wiggle.
Those two guys respect each other. You can tell by the way they race in the track. But once again, Rob Paccioni sees an opportunity here.
And so does Hughes as he slices up into the Attitudes. Boy, nice place to make that pass into the first of the triple turns called the Attitudes. Now down to the bottom, and he is through and clear, leading up. This is into that Tooele turn. Paccioni looking at Galern, but all of them looking at the back of that beautiful blue Viper of Ted Hughes. And I'll tell you what, Ted is a longtime Viper loyalist, and now he's stepping it up.
You know, I bought a ACR, an 08 ACR in 2008, and just fell in love with the car on the track. And then they introduced the X, and just decided I'm going to buy one for a track day car. Well, it's way more car than I am right now. You know, it's going to take me quite a while to learn how to drive it. You know, pick up the next 2 seconds that you need to be really competitive with these guys. That's the thing that I like about it at this point, is learning how to use that car and drive it as hard as I can. After I got the car, then they came up with the Viper Cup and all that, and I'll give it a try. I've always kind of wanted to do it, so this was a great opportunity. Well, I just started this, and a lot of these guys have been running the VRL and other race series, and so I'm really new to it, but they've been great. You know, everybody, if you've got any questions, anything, they come up and they'll help, and everybody's very accessible. It's been a really good experience so far.
Well, the paddock here, not just for the Dodge Viper Cup, but at one of these Dodge Viper Owners Club Invitationals or a Viper Days weekend, it's truly family.
It really is, and you've got a captive audience for this race. Everybody around hanging on the fences, sitting in the grandstands are into Vipers, and that's what makes one of these events so great to do these rounds 7 and 8 at.
Hop on board with Kurt Solerberger. We haven't been with him for a little bit here, sitting in the 11th spot, and oh, he's got an absolutely great seat on that bit of contact as Paccioni and Galern get together, and Galern, getting the worst of it, drifts off to the outside, loses 2-3 spots now. Now Galern gathers it back up, but that was a pretty good hit.
You know, Galern was trying to give him room to run, and I think he actually got startled when there was contact between those guys, because he didn't seem to be forced off the road. He seemed to drive it off the road. Meanwhile, Paccioni's thinking about that right now, saying, man, was that the thing to do?
Yeah, obviously, you've got to be a little bit careful as you get side-by-side. Sturdy cars to be sure, but in race trim, sometimes that can you can do things like cut a tire down, bend up some body work, and all of a sudden he is slowing down. So I don't know, maybe there was a little bit of damage there that we weren't privy to. It doesn't show much on the car.
No, you can't see anything in the car. It looks just beautiful, but maybe could this be a self-imposed self-imposed penalty that he's putting on himself as he slows down considerably, and Galern will go by down on the inside now.
Well, maybe I think that might be an idea, is that maybe he thought, well, I hit him and I shouldn't do that, and so I'm going to let him go.
Well, that was a long shot, even when I said it. But
Okay.
now we're getting a report the driver's side mirror on Rob's car has fallen off, and of course, he's a dentist. Dentist without a mirror. He's in trouble. We'll be right back.